What a jam. What a jam, dude. So good. Gotta figure out how to get my chat online again, like I do every morning about this time. Little 80s movia. Anyone, I wonder if anyone on the internet can name the song before the lyrics start. No clues. Let's have some fun here. This is great. 3 viewers. Oh, hell yeah. There we go. Great. This is some Monday morning music, man. Just gonna start dancing over here, Eli. Open up the limit. Past the point of no return. Reach the top, but still you gotta learn how to keep it. I don't want this song to end. This song's too good. My question earlier was, do you think about Eric Cartman when you hear this song? No. Good morning, beautiful internet and everybody out there in worldwide web land. Oh man, you know, it's 9:02 in the morning on Monday morning, June 26th. That can only mean one thing. Drew in the morning. Good morning. Here we are for another fanciful episode of Drew in the morning. Beautiful. I've been told to keep using the jingle because apparently it gets stuck inside people's heads. And that's okay because that's exactly what it was meant for. Good morning, Vicky just walked in the office. Drew in the morning. Just gonna keep saying Drew in the morning over and over and over again. Anyway. Back from Disney. Oh, I want to hear all about it. I want to hear the good, the bad, the ugly. Oh, all that great stuff. Anyway, good morning. Good morning to my loyal listeners in listener land. In listener land. We have a couple, 2, 3 people on. That is fantastic. I am once again trying to open up my chat because I still haven't managed to figure out how Facebook works when people are trying to send me messages in the middle of the show. So if you're listening on any of the other platforms like YouTube or Twitch or Twitter, which we're broadcasting on all of those now, just in case, if you go to drewinthemorning.com, you can look at our links. And a lot of people like to listen on Facebook, but we've got 4 there. We've got a couple, 2, 3 in different locations. But if you're on Twitter, it's Drew Morning Show, and if you're on YouTube or Twitch or Facebook, it's at Drew in the Morning. So you can find us on there. Just go to drewinthemorning.com. And now, Eli, guess what? Oh, yeah, everybody, just let's all say good morning to Eli. Oh, hey, good morning, Eli. How are you? You're not laying underneath 18-wheelers shooting videos in 109-degree weather today, are you?
Dude, I can't get used to this.
Can't get used to the heat. Yeah, it happens, man. I don't know how to turn my camera back on me. Guest. Hey, oh, that's you. Whoa, hi, hey. Anyway, so yeah, what a morning. It was a fun weekend. Everybody had a good weekend, I hope. Did you have a good weekend, Eli? Somewhat. Well, eventful.
Working, actually.
Working. So Eli does a lot of work. If you guys need any videography or someone to go out and fly drones around and take pictures of stuff and shoot incredible videos, he is your man. All right, let's see. I think I got Facebook. A delayed conversation. Look, okay. I think I finally got it, man. I've got my little chat window up over here. I've got, I'm seeing if anybody's sending messages. Let's see if I can check on the comments without doubling up my voice, because I always do that. Anyway, it's Monday. What a week, man. Last week, I did something I hadn't done in a little while. They're coming more frequent, which is unfortunate. Put another friend of mine to rest on Friday morning. Thursday evening was the wake, and all I gotta say is, if you've got friends that you haven't talked to in a while, reach out to them, because You might not bump into them for a year, and then when you do, the next time you see them will be at their funeral, and that sucks. So a guy who helped us create the rave scene down here, everybody called him like the godfather of rave in the Rio Grande Valley. His name was Lupe Leal. Everybody called him Loops. And, in I want to say 94, 92, 94, they created this club. It was Isaac and Lupe created this club called Sublime in downtown McAllen. And it wasn't even downtown. It was like on 10th and Business 83. And there was a Payless shoe store right beside it. And you couldn't go in through the front door. You could only go in through the back door. And you never knew when the club was open, except they would have a projector with their logo on the side of the wall. And if the light was on, you could go in. And sometimes they'd run 8mm movies on the side of the wall. It was pretty cool, man. And Mr. Milo was a DJ there. There were a bunch of people that cycled in and out of that place. But either way, it was kind of interesting sitting in a funeral, funeral parlor is that what they're called? I guess that's what they're called. Anyway, at the viewing. And you look to your left and right, and it's all these old people sitting around. And I look at them and I was like, those aren't old people. Those are my friends. And it reminded me of this stupid meme that I saw where it's like, when you look at your friends on Instagram and you're like, man, they look so old. And then you don't realize that they're saying the same shit about you. We've reached that part in our lives, man, where we are the people that are the old people in the picture. And that's okay. I'm okay with it. Ray Aguilar. Oh, man. Hey, Ray. Yeah, Loops on. That was, what a time, man. We had, for anybody that doesn't know, which is the stupidest thing to say, because I'm sure that the only people listening to this are people I've known for 20 years who just want to hear me make an ass on myself on a podcast. But I DJ'd for a long time, and we did a bunch of events for a long time, and we had there's like this little crew, man. Love us or hate us or whatever. There's a good little group of people in South Texas that contributed to the electronic dance music scene down here, and Loops was definitely one of them. Yeah, ups and downs with that guy. Not gonna lie, it wasn't the best relationship over time, but that's what friends are, right? So I was glad to see a lot of familiar faces at that funeral. It was kind of crappy to see everybody under those circumstances, but at least we got to see each other. So that was Friday night, Thursday night, Friday to put him in the ground. And that was it. So if you have friends that you haven't talked to in a little while, please reach out to them. Tell them that you said to say hi because you heard it on
Drew in the Morning.
There you go. Now, let's get into some fun stuff. So the song at the beginning of when we were first getting people to, at 9 o'clock or whatever, when we went on, was Push It to the Limit. And the reason we're using that song is because if you look at my guest chair, guess what? There's nobody here to kick me under the desk today. So I was told this morning by Theo Juan of the podcast I Want to Tell You Something that since my wife's not here, I should push it to the limit and we should have some fun. But, honestly, there's not that much controversial stuff happening right now. I mean, I guess there is.
Yeah.
There could be. I mean, I'm hawking some of the stuff that's going on down here, in McAllen with the school board and with the elections. One thing that's been interesting is our congresswoman is. Do you say congresswoman? Do you say congressperson?
Congresswoman.
Congressional delegate.
That's
I don't know what the right. I'm not trying to offend anybody. She's coming down here. I'm banging away on my keyboard. She's coming down here to talk at McAllen Performing Arts Center, and the I don't even know what it is, man. It's like the Guardian or something. One of those papers is trying to draw up a bunch of drama, and they keep posting on LinkedIn about Monica De La Cruz coming down and about how they're going to slam her about what she thinks about the border wall. And so it's been interesting because obviously she's a huge conservative Republican. She's part of the MAGA tribe, and she didn't win Hidalgo County. She didn't win the Rio Grande Valley. That stuff stayed totally blue. But she won all the other stuff to the north. It was like a rare fajita strip, like all the way up. It was red all the way in the middle, right? It was totally raw. And so she raw dogged South Texas. And so she won, and now she's going to come down here and she's going to tell us what we should do with the border, which is great. So Steve Taylor, good old Steve Taylor, posted some stuff online, and it looks like they're trying to they're trying to make it in this political thing where they're saying, hey, she's going to come down and she's going to talk at the McAllen Performing Arts Center for the McAllen Chamber of Commerce, and everybody wants to know what she thinks about the border. So it's turning it into this. I think it just seems like they're trying to sell tickets, but because we all know what she's going to say, but is she actually going to say it to a crowd full of people that didn't vote for her? That's what I'm curious. But that's not really drama. That's like nothing new. So whatever. So that's happening. What else is happening? There's some interest. There are interesting things happening in the world today. But I'm going to get into it because here's what I'm trying to do. I'm going to try and do something new. I'm going to try and stick to a schedule. And just talk about certain things at certain times so I don't talk too much because I tend to do that. Anyway, so it says 9/10, which is 9/11. What did you do this weekend? What is coming up this weekend and where? That's what the schedule says. I'm bummed because I think I missed the party in Elsa. I think I missed Grupo Más. Or who was it that was supposed to be there? Was it Little Joe? Do you remember? Dude, if you're listening from Elsa, tell me who it was, because I didn't get a chance to go, and I saw that a bunch of people went, and it looked like a lot of fun, but maybe it was the schematics, the spasmatics. Let's see, Elsa Music Festival. They were supposed to be doing something this deal. The August 24th, the Garden presents Margarita Fest. See, I love Elsa because they party. Like, that's the thing. They take the money from the city, not from the city, but they take so much city pride, and they allocate fun. They don't allocate funds. Man, Elsa allocates fun. That's what they do. They have a good time down there. They know that on the weekends, people just want to chill and relax and have a good time. And if you're looking for an event to go to and you want to get to some down-home good stuff, man, cruise out to Elsa on the weekends. I don't know what website they have where you can...
South Texas Red, White, and Blue fifth time?
Was it
Ramona Ayala and...
No, it wasn't Ramona Ayala, man. I want to say it was Mas or Little Joe.
La Mafia.
It was something, man. Yeah, the Red, White, and Blue Festival. Yeah, man. Anyway, so they got this thing coming. It's Joe Lopez and Mas. Yeah, dude. But did I miss it? Yeah, Saturday, June 24th. Wah, wah. This event has ended. That sucks. I actually wanted to go to that. Anyway, so that's what was going on. If you have any events that you'd like me to talk about here on
Drew in the Morning,
just go ahead and drop me a little email, little Drew at drewlentz.com, little Drew at drewinthemorning.com. Let me know what events you have going on. What else do we have? My friend Katie Blackwell played at Sunset Live, Sunset Session, Sunset Live, whatever it's called now, down at the McAllen Convention Center. She did a bang-up job last weekend. This weekend, I don't know what's going on, man. It's like the weekend before July 4th, right? Oh, I know what I'm doing. I bought tickets. I tried to surprise the kids. I bought tickets to Hamilton in San Antonio pre-COVID and then COVID, and they rescheduled. So 3 years later, we're going to go see Hamilton in San Antonio. Like, I don't even know if my daughter cares anymore. She's like, what's that? Not interested.
Just have them...
Well, maybe we'll watch it. Well, okay, speaking of, I'm going to move on. This schedule isn't really working out for me. What I'm going to move on to is I have a very controversial subject, man. And Eli, I do want your opinion on this because if y'all don't know my buddy Eli, he is a movie buff. He's a big old movie nerd. I know there's a lot of people out there that are friends of mine. They're movie nerds also. So I have a question. I genuinely have a question on. Look, Eli's coming over here. He's going to put the cans on. We're going to talk about this because this is legit a question for movie people. The correct order to watch certain movies, because here's what happened. So summertime comes along and I want to do movie nights with the kids, and so we're hanging out and we're doing movie nights. Here's your little thing.
I got it.
Okay, so we're doing movie nights and we did Talladega Nights. My 11-year-old,
excellent choice.
So good. She says the part that she laughed at was when Will Ferrell's in the hospital and what's his name, his buddy calls him up and he says, "Hey, I got a question for you." He says, "Why are you calling me, man? Like, you stole my wife. You stole my life." He says, "Yeah. How do I listen to the radio and watch TV at the same time?" And he says, "Why do you want to listen to the radio and watch TV at the same time?" He says, "Because I like to party." What an amazing answer, dude. Why are you doing that dumb stuff?
I don't know how one movie has so much quotable and fantastic scenes.
Dude, so good, man. Dear little baby 8-pound, 6-ounce baby Jesus. Anyway, okay, so Jess is listening, which is very important because
Good morning, Jess.
she had a lot to do with this. One of the nights I was like, let's watch a little bit of a thriller, something full of action. Let's have some fun with this. And so I put on a movie. And I went in, and after we watched it, the next morning, Jess goes, "What the hell were you watching last night? It was really loud." I said, yeah, it was great, man. We had a good time. And I told her what I watched, and she looked at me, and she says, "You fucked up." And
You
I
started
said,
on the wrong movie.
She goes, "You started on the wrong movie." I said, "No, I didn't. Those are the best ones." And she's like, "You fucked up."
All right, what franchise is this? Oh, yeah.
Dude. Okay, so here's my question. Without knowing where I started, if you could rewind time and you had all of them to choose from, what would you start your kiddo on in the Batman series of all the movies? Where would you start?
In the series of movies, and then
All of them.
we're
No,
gonna,
not animated though, because
I'm going to include an animated.
No,
only
you
because
can't.
this one animated.
I know, I understand. They're great. I've never watched any of them.
Well, the Phantasm one.
I haven't watched any.
That's
of the
that's considered the crowning jewel of Batman movies.
I know. I agree.
Mask of the Phantasm.
However, I haven't watched any of those, so I'm talking just Hollywood cinema.
Yeah.
Where?
Live action.
Yeah, live action. Where would you start?
For me personally, it's I start with the Keatons.
God damn it! Yeah, you're right.
Yeah.
Jessica was right.
Yeah.
I fucked up.
Well, it's not a matter of being right. It's just a matter of opinion, right? But
no, you're right. because yes, and then I was like, no, dude, I didn't screw up. Because you know where I started?
Yeah.
Christian Bale.
it's a bit of, it's not a screw up. It's just the wrong.
You can't go back.
Yeah.
That's the problem. And that's what Jess said is. By watching The Dark Knight, Batman Begins is where we started. I was like, yeah, it's great. And she goes, yeah, but it's dark and it's like, it's action and this. And then, if you go back to Keaton, if you go back to Batman, 89 Batman, it's like a little bit more watered down because Christopher Nolan murdered that franchise so good. It's one of my favorite.
It's so good, but at the same time, it does. Well, here's why I don't start with the Nolans.
Okay, why?
Because he grounded it so much in reality that when you go back into the Keatons or the Fredwards or the like, if you go back, it automatically puts a cartoonish spin on everything else.
That's right. The Joker. So so I stopped.
Yeah.
Because we were gonna watch. We were going to turn around and we were going to do Dark Knight. Yeah. And because it was Dark Knight, then Dark Knight Rises, right? Or vice versa. Whatever it was.
It's Batman Begins, Dark Knight, Dark Knight Rises.
Yeah, it's Scarecrow, Joker, and Bane. Yeah. So we were going to do Joker. Because, dude, I mean, that's like the best joke. And then the Joker, the movie.
Joker movie or Joker?
No. Joker, Batman, Joker. Yeah. Joaquin Phoenix. So I didn't do it, and Jess was like, "Yeah, dude, you screwed up." Because if you think about the Joker that's in Keaton Batman,
Jack Nicholson.
Jack Nicholson's so good, dude. But then you follow that up with Danny DeVito. God, talking about the ugliest character he's ever played. Yeah. Like he did such a good bad job.
Even in the Batman with Colin Farrell as the Penguin, which he did. He did what Heath Ledger did with the Joker. He grounded it and he turned it into a real person rather than this caricature. Yeah. But Danny DeVito is still by far my favorite villain of any of the Batmans.
You think so?
Of any of the Batmans.
Really?
Well, yeah. And then there's Mr. Freeze, but that's for Glutton.
So, man, yeah, okay, so all right, survey says, look, let me check the text and just
it's gonna be the Keatons, especially
our age. We gotta go back. Wrong start. It's always about being right. Pick another one. Batman doesn't count. I love Batman, dude. What I like about Batman is he's just a dude. He's just a human dude with a whole shitload of technology.
Yeah. What's best about starting with Keaton is it's the greatest balance of this. The bringing the world of comic books into a live action. And taking it out of the grounded, because Nolan did great movies, and he did the best.
I mean, the best trilogy, in my opinion, because when I walked out of, it was Dark Knight Rises, right, the last one. Yeah. I walked out of that movie theater stunned with awe. I walked out like tears in my eyes, goosebumps covering my body. Like that was a fucking movie, man.
That didn't happen for me for Begins, but it happened for me for Dark Knight. The Dark Knight stunned me.
Oh, so good. Okay, so before I move on to this, have you seen Oppenheimer yet?
I haven't seen it.
Okay, I want to go with you because have you read the reviews?
Yeah, that people are
walking out
devastated
that
it's Nolan's horror film.
They're walking out like blank looks on their faces, like I can't believe
like,
that.
What have we done?
Yeah,
as a species.
Yeah, I've never read a review that talks about how terrified people are when they walk, like not terrified, but like upset and mad, and like what's the word? I'm not guttural, but like terrible reactions, walking out just like angry and pissed. So I want to see it in IMAX.
I think part of it is
if I'm gonna be mad, I'm gonna do that shit in 3D.
I think part of it is Nolan is trying to unveil a very ugly side of history and what we're capable of doing, of destroying ourselves.
I agree.
Yeah.
Speaking of being capable of destroying ourselves, so I can wrap up on the Batman subject here.
Yeah.
So what I did is I went through Rotten Tomatoes and I looked at what was the best and what was the worst, because I think I thought I knew what the worst was, but I didn't. So I'm going to run through the list real quick. What do you think is the number one on Rotten Tomatoes? And you know what? Rotten Tomatoes grabs all the movie scores from everywhere.
It's an aggregate.
Smashes them together, aggregates them, and lets you pick. Yeah. What do you think number one is?
Of the Batman series?
Of all of live action Batman, not comics.
It's
just all live action.
Live action comics.
No comics. Just live action Hollywood, like we talked about.
You mean the worst movie ever made?
No. Of all of the Batmans,
okay.
Which of all the Batmans that were studio produced with human actors,
okay,
what do you think the number one is, the best one?
And it's probably gonna be either the George Clooney or the Val Kilmer.
No, the best, not the worst, the best.
Let's consider the best.
Ooh, that's a good question. What do you think, Migs? What do you think?
I would believe Rotten Tomatoes has is probably.
It's a good one,
and it's not the obvious one, right? It's not the Dark Knight Rises.
You're close, man.
Or the Joker one.
You're close.
It's gonna be Joker, right?
No. Joker's part of it.
But the Heath Ledger, the Dark Knight.
The Dark Knight.
Yeah.
That's correct.
Yeah. No, but the worst one's got to be
Dark Knight is Christian is Dark. I'm sorry. Number one's Dark Knight, 94%.
Yeah.
Number two, Dark Knight Rises.
Yeah.
Number three totally shocked me, totally, because I thought that, and again, this goes back to the Keaton films. Batman, the original Batman is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7th.
Yeah, I can see that. It's the people that look fondly on it. It's more of a nostalgic.
Have you ever danced with the devil in a pale moonlight?
That's one of the greatest lines
Dude,
I've
come
ever.
on, or my life is.
I used to say that a lot.
Complex,
yeah.
You know, like come on, man. No, number three, I have not seen because I didn't watch it.
Number three.
Yeah.
So it's of the Keatons.
No. I'm just saying number three overall. So number one is Dark Knight with Christian Bale.
Yeah.
Number two is Dark Knight Rises with Christian Bale. Number three is.
It's a movie.
It's a movie.
Okay. Live action.
Live action.
So.
And it's not. It's not Batman Begins.
No, Batman Returns.
Batman Begins is number 4. There's one that was squeezed in there. Number 3 is The Batman with Robert Pattinson.
Which is surprising because A, it got shut down, 3-4 times. B, people really didn't want to watch the Twilight guy be Batman.
That's why I won't watch it.
I was not one of them because I've seen his other movies post-Twilight, and he always made interesting choices and some really messed up movies.
So Dark Knight Rises, the Batman, Batman Begins, Batman Returns, Batman the Adam West, and then Batman with Keaton.
Wait, not the series, the movie.
The movie.
Adam West movie.
Yeah, it's 68, right?
Yeah.
And then underneath that is Batman Forever with Val Kilmer. Have you watched Becoming Val or Being Val?
Yeah.
Oh my God, dude. And then to hear Val, if you haven't watched that, it's on Netflix and talks all about the life of Val Kilmer. To hear him go through that and then realize that it scored so low, you just feel so bad for the guy.
Well, hopefully he has a sense of humor like George Clooney. George Clooney absolutely relishes in the fact that he was one of the worst.
You know that's the worst. 12% on Rotten Tomatoes. Yeah. Only the one right above that would be Batman vs Superman with Affleck.
I'm surprised. Adam West ranks.
He ranked.
Well, that movie is so schlocky. Like, it's great. I remember watching it as a kid.
Well, that being said,
shark spraying.
Yeah, man. Let's see. So, in other news today,
that's the end of movie.
That's it. That's the movie. That's the movie. Your movie segment this morning with Eli on
Drew in the morning.
And he skedaddles out of here. Well, that was a fun conversation. So, long story short, I screwed up. I started on the wrong Batman movie. Next week, let's talk about Star Wars. Where do you start in the Star Wars trilogy? And
I got a whole pitch.
and then, yeah, man. Oh, you know, my favorite Star Wars theory is that Jar Jar Binks. The Jar Jar Binks theory is the most amazing Star Wars theory that's out there about how he was absolutely the most ruthless, lethal character, and how the all the movies revolved around Jar Jar Binks as like the ultimate bad guy. Yeah. And the only reason that they didn't follow it through is because of how terrible the ratings were with Jar Jar Binks, how they got rid of it. But how if you look it up, there's a whole theory, and it's pretty convincing about Jar Jar Binks. Anyway, well, that was fun. So we could talk about movies all day. We could just turn this into a movie show. But why when there's so many exciting things to talk about? So the Titanic sub. Oh man, this one. Listen, this one's interesting. So movies, right? Transition. I'm transitioning from one to the other over here. And speaking of transitions, and now, no, seriously. So we watched Titanic, and I don't want to say not because of the sub thing that happened. I mean, that sucks. Anytime people, you and everybody else, it's like the #1 trending movie right now. And I read
James Cameron's Challenger of the Deep on free on YouTube.
I read there's some other meme that said we're all going to hell because Celine Dion's song entered the top 10 for the first time in 20 years. So yeah. Anyway. So we decided to watch Titanic because about a couple weeks ago, more than that, a couple months ago, I was at Barnes & Noble with my kiddo, and I told him, hey, man, if you want a book, pick up any book. And he picks up this like adult Titanic book, and he's like, this is what I want. And I said, all right, dude. And so it was interesting. Lots of words, very few pictures. We get home, and that evening, Jess and I went out. We had date night, and we go out, and we had one of our amazing babysitters who's under the age of 18, so I'm not going to use her name, but she's great, and you know who you are. We adore her and her sisters. She comes over, and the first thing my little kid does is he takes the book, and he hands it to her, and he goes, here, read this to me. And I was like, oh, this little kid pulled a fast one. Anyway, he reads, he learns all about the Titanic. Fast forward a couple weeks ago, we were in Vegas, as you guys know. We're in Vegas. The Titanic experience at Luxor is there. And so my kid decides that that's where he wants to go. He takes my wife in there, and they go walk around, and he starts explaining everything about the Titanic to my wife, which was kind of interesting. And then the sub thing happened, and we said, what better time to watch the Titanic movie than now? So we watched that on Saturday. Yeah, unfortunate. And what a show. I hadn't seen that in so long. I'm not going to lie. Like, my kids called me Clark Griswold because you get like 30 minutes into a dramatic movie, and all of a sudden it gets real dusty in the room, like someone's cutting onions in the room. I was like, I haven't seen this movie in so long. Hold on. All right, you're back. You're back. What?
Huh? Oh, no, I got a slight rant. Did my mic right?
No, your mic's up. Oh, I turned you down.
Oh, no, now I got a slight rant because Titanic has been one of those movies that I went to the movie theaters 11 times when I was when it first came out.
Okay. Did you know that James Cameron has dove down to Titanic
about 33
times?
Yeah.
And they asked him, they're like, what do you think about the Titan sub sinking? He's like, yeah, it was made out of the wrong material.
Out of all the experts that they brought on for CNN, MSNBC, I've been on a rabbit hole about it. He has been the most eloquent in explaining it to the people.
Dude, because you're talking to a guy who's been down there more than just about anybody.
And the guy's a freaking genius, not just in filmmaking. I mean, say what you want about filmmaking.
Best James Cameron movie.
Oh, for me, The Abyss.
Oh God, guaranteed.
That's his masterpiece.
When the head comes out and all that. Anyway, yeah. Dude.
The Abyss is his masterpiece. But besides the point, my rant about Titanic is because it's been very popular to rant against it. It's become the Nickelback of his movies.
It's a great movie, man.
It's a great movie.
It's a great movie.
Well, I guess the first half is just the romantic story, but when it gets into the second half and kicks into the sinking,
here's the thing, man, and this is what I told Jess because Jess was like 4 when it came out, or whatever it was. There's one scene that stands out to me in that movie, and if anyone saw it at the movie theater, it's difficult to explain it to someone who didn't see it in the theater.
I saw it in the theater.
And at the time when 3D graphics were at the level that they were at.
Yeah.
Here you had the ability to visualize something that no one had ever seen before.
Yeah.
No one had seen it. So it's easy to hate it now and go, oh, yeah, it's dumb. Dude, you're talking about people who had the opportunity to see something that they had never seen because of what they did. But the one scene that stands out is when they're popping off the flares and they hit that wide shot and you see just the massive ocean. Yeah. And then you just see the tiny little Titanic and you hear the pop and you just hear the flare go, poof.
Yeah.
And it shows the vastness of desperation.
It's scale.
Dude,
it's
it was
showing off scale.
Anyway.
Star Trek was very good.
Yeah, you don't see that if you don't see that in the theater. If you're watching it like on a little TV, you're like, oh, it doesn't look that great.
Well, I remember when I bought the VHS, the 2-pack in square format, and I remember comparing it to my and it's something because they re-released it in the theater, and I took my kid to go see it, and it was one of those things to where it hits completely different when you're watching it in a theatrical presentation.
They all do. They all do. I agree.
Jurassic Park was great on the second viewing on the movie theater. It still
do you
plays
remember,
great.
Did you go during COVID? That was one of the coolest things that they did. Is they started. You could go watch old movies in the theater.
Yeah,
it was the best.
Yeah,
dude.
I even rented out a theater during COVID times.
So did we. We did
Tenet.
it for like a birthday.
Yeah.
Oh, I never saw Tenet.
Tenet, it's not Nolan's best. It's interesting.
That's one I haven't seen yet.
It's great. It's still great. It's like saying it's the weakest link among Nolan's, but it's still low.
So here's the thing on Titanic, which is interesting. You and I were talking about this also because we pregame, right? Before we get on here. So Titanic, the sub's going down to Titanic, and it's getting all this news coverage. And then I saw one headline. It's like, do you think people are talking about this way too much?
Yes.
There is a whole conservative group that's saying that the reason people are focused on Titanic is so that it's like a card trick, a parlor trick to get away from people talking about Hunter Biden and all the stuff that he's doing.
I saw that on Twitter.
And it's like, and it's funny because I've seen Succession, and like Succession draws. They go, yeah, this is what we do.
Well,
you know what I mean?
The thing of it is, it's not relegated to just people saying it. There's politicians that are echoing this. Yeah, that this is time. So Biden, it would sink to Biden's.
That's my favorite. Yeah. My favorite is everybody's favorite. I don't even know what he is. Dumb shit. Dan Bradshaw is what it says in my notes. blaming the Titanic sub on the White House. He says it was an epic failure in leadership, but wasn't sure who to pin it on. Was it the Coast Guard, the Navy?
Never mind.
White House, Satan.
Never mind. It was in international waters with a national or international group of. It's Biden's fault.
It's but definitely Biden's fault.
This goes back to everything was Obama's fault. Everything is somebody's fault.
Yeah, man. But the funny, not funny. It sucks. Anytime people lose lives, it sucks. Yeah. So there's an interesting. I'll tie in here in a second. But you and I were talking about Logitech. The people who made the controller that they used to control the sub, how their stock took a hit, but also how people are bombing their Amazon reviews. And someone even posted on there, they said, the listing's question and answer section has already been inundated with sarcastic queries like, quote, can I use this for my submersible? And, quote, would you recommend this controller for piloting a tourist submarine? Asking for a friend, thanks.
Yeah, we are so cruel as a society.
It's the worst.
It's like that James Cameron quote, we're not going to make it, are we? Humans.
Humans.
Yeah.
So speaking of, there's been two stories that have come out about that submersible that are interesting. One is this wealthy Las Vegas investor who had tickets and
pulled out them for concerns.
Yeah, and he was like, no, I'm not going to go on this thing.
And they had an email exchange.
Yeah, dude. And so he's he popped up. He's like, holy shit, I can't believe I was almost on that boat. But the other one that came out 2 days ago that tweeted it. Check this out, dude. This one was like, and I'm a fan, so I was like, what, dude? Well, I've got to go look it up. I got to go look up the tweet.
Well, while you're looking for that tweet, also there was a swap out, the father and son.
Right here. Yeah.
It was supposed to be the father and mother, but the mother didn't want to go, so the son took her place.
Dude, and then the kid, but the Pakistani kid who didn't even want to go on it. He's like, I was just doing it to appease my dad because it was on Father's Day. So here's the tweet that this dude posted. It says, also, I'm going to the Titanic in a submarine late this month. The team would be stoked to have you along. And that was a tweet that was sent to Mr. Beast.
No way.
Yeah, and Beast says, I was invited earlier this month to ride the Titanic submarine. I said, no, kind of scary. I could have been on it. Dude, that would have been our generation's Kurt Cobain moment. Imagine Mr. Beast dying on
as much as I don't want to admit it because I don't like Mr. Beast.
Oh, I love Beast. I love it. Dude. Anyway, so
Well, I don't have qualms with Beast. I have qualms with the culture that's come up around him.
It's fascinating, but dude, I mean, it's fascinating. So along the lines of Mr. Beast, this one actually caught my eye. He wants to pull out a Mr. Beast burger. He's done with it. Mr. Beast burger was launched in late 2020s. It launched something called the Ghost Kitchen Revolution, which is where people can come up with a concept like, Eli's. Like, what would you make if you could make any food? What would you make?
If any food?
Yeah.
Oh, tacos.
Eli's Tacos, but people could call or they could get on the website and the taco order would be fulfilled by the local mom and pop restaurant or whatever else it is. So that way people can come up with their own conceptual menu. And so Beast did it with what he called the Mr. Beast burger. So he made the Mr. Beast burger. He published it online. And he worked with all these different places around
to make it the way he would.
So like Lucky Sushi here in McAllen, if you order a Mr. Beast burger, the burger's actually made at Lucky Sushi, and that's what delivers it to you.
I don't want to get a burger from a sushi joint.
Which is fascinating. So Mr. Beast launched this in 2020. And customers order their order via delivery app, and choice of an affiliated restaurant prepares the burger. Unfortunately, in its 2.5 years of operation, the execution across Virtual Brand's 2,000 plus locations has had mixed success.
Yeah.
Beast posted that he'd like to step away from the business because it's hurting his brand, because he's found that he cannot guarantee the quality of the food across the locations. And they deleted those tweets.
You could have made that assessment before you did this idea. It's just the idea of having 1,000 people to prepare your burger. 2,000 people prepare your burger. 2,000 takes on your burger.
2,000 different ways.
Yeah.
He wanted to shut down Mr. Beast Burger altogether, but the company that he's partnered with, in perpetuity, universally in perpetuity.
Yeah.
No, that's the movie we watched last night. That would be, that would be. Oh my God, what was it called? Oh, where's Jess? Jess, what was it called? Hold on. It was a good one, dude. Talk about Waterworks again. I want to dance with somebody.
The Whitney Houston one?
We watched the Whitney Houston one last night. Anyway. But apparently this homeboy Beast signed a contract that won't allow him to pull out. Beast can't pull out.
You got to carry it to term.
But they also... Stay in Texas, baby. Yeah.
May God bless you in your endeavors. And may God forever bless the great state of Texas.
Life starts at the tip.
Why aren't you on here more? Anyway, so that's fascinating. They also do Mariah Carey's cookies.
Sorry, when you say Mariah Carey's cookies, I go back to Mariah Carey's cookie.
Yeah. Right. We'd like an order of Mariah Carey's cookies and a Beast burger, please.
It's that lame Jennifer Lopez movie. I like cookies. When she offers the younger lover cookies.
I remember.
I love your mom's cookies.
Remember the little? I saw that old meme for the first time in a long time. The little kid was this. I like turtles.
I like turtles.
Anyway, so I thought that was pretty fascinating. So Beast was in the news twice this week. But what else was in the news along the lines of social media influencer products and whatnot? We're down to 3 listeners from 7. People don't give a shit about what we're talking about.
Well, I blame me.
It's okay. So, Prime energy drink. A 12-ounce can of Coca-Cola contains 34 milligrams of caffeine. An 8.4-ounce can of Red Bull contains 80 milligrams of caffeine. Do you know what a 12-ounce can of Prime energy contains?
Obscene.
200 milligrams of caffeine. That much caffeine can cause some adverse effects such as disrupted sleep, mood disorders, upset stomach, even abnormal heart rhythms. The warning label on Prime Energy Drinks products notes that it's not recommended for children under the age of 18. So I got some crap from actually my sister sends me a message and she says, because we're trying out that red, white, and blue. I called it America Prime. Yeah. We're trying out the America Prime and Fleety was drinking it. And she said, hey, that's an energy drink. It's like, no, it's the hydration one. The energy drink's in a can. The hydration one's in the other one. And it's actually not that bad. It tastes like a melted balm popsicle. Anyway.
It still doesn't sound appetizing.
It's good. It's not that bad.
Very rarely have I found an energy drink that I liked. And I don't even drink energy drinks.
No, it's not the energy drink. It's the hydration one. No, the energy drink is in a can. Okay. The hydration one's in a bottle. And there's no caffeine in the bottle one.
Okay. But what do they substitute? Because usually when they say without caffeine, they throw in a bunch of something else.
No, there's no caffeine.
Okay.
No, this one's like all coconut water and stuff. Anyway, it's not that bad.
It's like vitamin water.
Yeah. It's like vitamin water. And all the kids love Prime right now. So anyway, that's what happened last week. What about you? What did you do last week?
Working on a few projects, some animations, a few days of shooting in. Anybody that wants to shoot outdoors in the middle of a Texas summer should be, it shouldn't be allowed. There should be, and now that Abbott doesn't want me to have water, so
you can't do it. You know, so speaking of that on the Texas, and it's funny, Juan just brought this up. DeSantis on the border, dude. If you drive down South 2nd Street by the DoubleTree, there are an obscene amount of Florida Highway Patrol vehicles. That are in McAllen right now, like obscene. I've seen more Florida Highway Patrol.
I saw one on the way in.
Like more Florida Highway Patrol than Texas Highway Patrol down here right now. It's just frustrating. I mean, kudos to the DoubleTree team. They're getting some good rates. They're filling up their hotel. They've got some nice no capacity issues for them this week.
Yeah, but at the expense of what? I mean, I get it's probably Florida's money, but at the same time,
we're paying them. Texas is paying them to be here, right? It's got to be. I just don't understand, But again, that goes back to I'm curious as to how this thing is going to play out with Monica de la Cruz at the Performing Arts Center, and I can't find
the thing of it is she's going to come down and it's going to play well because why? The people that show up to her events are going to be the echo chamber that she lives within. So it's not like she's going to come down here and come against a hostility. Because how many times did Trump come down here? How many times did Abbott come down here? Even after the scandal of the Operation Lone Star, Abbott's welcome down here with open arms, and there he goes wheeling across the stage just to an inside crowd of his own peers in echo chamber, and there's they're not going to bring anybody in that has any opposing thoughts or feelings or anything.
But this one is okay. I thought it was $100. It's $40 per person.
Yeah,
you can show up. The McAllen Chamber of Commerce is hosting it. It's Thursday, June 29th. It's in 3 days. The McAllen Performing Arts Center. $40 per person. RSVP with Jerry Garcia at the McAllen Chamber, 682-2871.
Jerry Garcia.
I love Jerry's name. It's the best. Yeah. But I am curious because it's. Here's the problem, man, is I have that glimmer of hope where I think, man, you know what? Maybe she's just going to be a normal person. And our congresswoman's going to sit on the stage and people are going to be able to ask her a question and she's going to give a legit answer.
Yeah.
But then I think about her track record.
Yeah.
And I think about what got her into office.
Normal is not appealing no more. People want fighters. They want the people that go to their corners.
So Colin Allred. Have you been following Colin Allred at all?
No.
I'm very, very fascinated in Colin Allred. And I hope he's running against Ted Cruz.
Okay.
His mom's from Brownsville. Single mom, never knew his dad. NFL football player. Sitting congressman right now.
Okay.
From the North Dallas area. And he's running a strong campaign against Cruz. I don't know, the numbers were supposed to be posted for how much they raised, but I'm interested to see if someone can actually beat Ted Cruz. I mean, Beto couldn't do it, right? But can Colin Allred pull through and beat Ted Cruz? I'm very excited. I hope. And then if you couple that with all this crap that happened with Ken Paxton, where he says, if we wouldn't have been able to get all those votes thrown out in Houston, we would have won Houston. If he can carry Houston. Dude, there might be a chance that Ted Cruz.
That statement alone should be.
Is he going to take the long trip to Cancun?
No, the fact that is that if we didn't get those votes thrown out, and you know what Houston is, it's a liberal stronghold in the sense to where it's a bunch of minority groups.
Yeah, but here's the problem, man, is that the people that are, and it's not even the people that are voting. The people traditionally, the people that are going to pull the lever, the people that are going to vote. They're going to vote in the way that is reflected in what we have right now.
Yeah.
And because of what they did, because of all the voting laws, and because of not being able to get people the ballots that they needed in time to get those ballots, then that takes away from people who want to now go out and vote, who want their voice to be heard. Now they don't have the opportunity to do it. I mean, when they talked about taking the drop-off ballot locations in Houston from 19 or 29 to 1, there was one place you could drop it off, and it was in Katy, or something like it was in the middle. It's like if you had the whole valley of people that had mail-in ballots in the valley, and you say, you know what, instead of having drop-off locations in all 37 cities in the valley, you know what we're going to do? We're going to have one ballot drop-off location, and it's going to be in Roma. Like what?
For anybody that's transportation insecure, for anybody that doesn't have a transportation period, or people that can't even take the time off, and there's a reason why. There's a reason why we don't get the day off as a national holiday for voting.
Yeah, because
because
the man wants to keep you down.
Disproportionately, the working class can't take time off.
No, they can't. And those are the people that are going to vote against the people that
the ones that are holding the purse strings to this whole.
It's a fascinating.
Well, you said it this morning. We were talking about minority, or we're no longer the minority group in Texas, and we're still called minorities.
Yes, absolutely.
And the fact that we're no longer the minority, but power in Texas doesn't reflect what the makeup of Texas is.
So what Eli's talking about is now Texas is now, and this is the headline that made both of us laugh. Texas is now a majority minority state, and what made us laugh about that is it was like, well, you may be more, but you're still less.
Yeah.
Like how jaded of a headline.
The majority minority.
You're the majority minority. You're the best of the worst.
Yeah.
There's
more of you, but you're still less. So just so you understand.
It's so bad, man. Yeah. Super passive aggressive.
It's like, when do we stop being called minorities? Not even when we're the majority.
40.2% of Texans are Hispanic. 39.8 are now Hispanic, non-Hispanic white. Demographic milestone means that Hispanics are the largest demographic group in 2 of the largest states in the union, California and Texas, both of which have crossed the 30 million mark, which is interesting. So, yeah, man.
What's funny is I even been called. We're sitting here in the valley. It's 98% Latino. I walked down Walmart and I saw this guy looking for an antenna, and he asked me for advice. I was like, "Yeah, go with this." And he was a Canadian. And he
hey boy,
he actually, these were the words, "Oh, thanks, you're one of the good ones." And I was like,
one of the good ones.
A Canadian, like, you're one of the good ones. And I'm just like, man, I've never felt like a minority.
You should have put on your what's the guy?
My asshole.
No, your little accent. Oh, sí, señor. Yeah. What's his name?
Speedy Gonzalez.
Yeah, you should have gone full Speedy Gonzalez on him, dude.
I do this though. Whenever we're passing the checkpoint, my Texas accent kicks in.
Howdy.
American citizen? Yes, sir.
Yes, sir. What's your name? Eli Cantu.
Yeah. Where you coming from? Oh, Westlaco.
Dude,
Westlaco. I say Westlaco.
No, dude, La Feria. What do you think is the whitest community in the Rio Grande Valley?
La Feria.
La Feria, right?
Yeah. No, one of my best buds is from La Feria. He ended up, we worked together at Hotels.com, and then he became a bigwig at Expedia, and he's from La Feria, and he's one of the widest.
La Feria is, I mean, I would say Harlingen's a close second.
Yeah.
But La Feria's got to be the widest community, and I mean that's like.
Yeah, I joke. I brought a girlfriend down here, and she was white, and I remember it's like I don't like. There's not a lot of white people down here. It's like, yeah, you got to go to Mexico to see a lot of white people.
Yeah, that's right. Go to Progresso on Saturday. Oh my God, but don't, because meningitis. Oh my God, did you hear about the other thing? The pills.
The pills.
The pills. No. So, and I didn't. You follow all this stuff that talks about fentanyl, and you talk, all these stories and all these stories and it's hard for me being down here to listen to all of it and figure out where's the filter between reality. Because there's a lot of stuff that's coming across, but there's always been a lot of stuff coming across. It's, I mean, and
it's not as bad as they say, but it's not as good as what we think.
That's right. And then also you have the whole thing where it's like the majority. Oh, that's yours. The majority, like all this fentanyl is coming across from Canada, right? And because it's not coming across the border; it's coming across in airplanes, and But there was a story that was published, and they were talking about a lady from Mission whose son. They went to Progresso to go buy ADD medication or ADHD medication, and it called out, I think it was Zoloft, and I could be wrong. I'll try and find the article and post it. But basically, the smaller pharmacies, not like Benavides or none of the chains in Mexico did it really affect, but the smaller pharmacies are saying that they had like Zoloft or Prozac, or it was Adderall, that they have Adderall, and people would go there and they would buy Adderall in Mexico since they either couldn't afford it or whatever it was. They bring it across, and what the cartels are doing is they're selling them the fentanyl pills. They're smashed or smashed pills. Yeah. So it looks like it, but they're not the real thing. Yeah. And now people are coming across and they're taking their medication, what they think is their medication, but they're actually ingesting fentanyl. Yeah. And there was a kid, a high school football player in Mission that the mom went over there and bought him pills and came over here and he ate the pill and he died.
Now, we can
stand by. Yeah. Aside from the fact that makes her an illegal drug smuggler.
Well, no, the argument's bigger than that.
Because that argument has always come up, and I say that I can't imagine what it's like to lose your kid. I'm not making fun of her at all. I'm just saying that there's a whole a whole group of people are going to be like, well, yeah, she bought pills in Mexico and brought them illegally into the United States with no prescription.
That's the stance that's a stance that most people will take.
It is.
When they're not considered on, well, we live within America. Like, I just had a couple of medical emergencies over my lifetime, and then I'm dealing with a couple of medical emergencies right now. And I just showing up to the ER for a kidney stone that I ended up passing before I can take the meds for was a $7,000 out of pocket ordeal.
Yeah.
Because I don't have insurance or anything like that. The fact that we live in like my mom's medications, they're skyrocketing right now, and she's covered by Medicare to a degree. But I mean,
and we live in a place where the accessibility is easy for us to just run across and do it. And like you said, Winter Texans, people come down here specifically to do that. I mean, just look at the people from North Carolina who came over here to get a tummy tuck. Oh wait, that was probably not.
That's elective. That's a whole different. That's cosmetic vanity, whatever. If you want to have that conversation, but people that are literally living off their medication, that live and die by their medication, and literally
they can't afford it.
They can't afford it, or they ration it.
Well, you know what's crazy is there's a whole bunch of medications that right now, Ozempic being one of them, and all these like popular meds that are out there, Concerto, Ozempic, for different things that everybody's out of. The pharmacies are out, and like we're just out. And so if you're down here and you're in the valley, or that you can get down here easily, you can just jump across the border and go buy it. I mean, and I don't want to say everybody does it, but it's like the unwritten thing in South Texas. Like, how many people's maids have papers? I'm just curious. You know what I mean? Like, it's one of those where it's like you live in this area where that cross border traffic stuff has always been just the culture of who we are down here. It's very transient in that sense. Doesn't mean that's right or wrong, but if you look at the laws and you say, oh, well, the law says this and this and this, then there are so many more people in the valley that are breaking the laws on a day-to-day basis because of that.
The amount of there's a lot of things that we say that we are against, but there's a lot of things that we do that we're against, right?
But I mean, how many people down here that pull the lever? Oh, you keep them out. Build that wall,
dude,
where it's.
I know.
I will build a great wall.
And how many of the people that pulled that lever have housekeepers that they drop off at the bridge? That I see them drop off at the bridge every Friday.
There's a lot of don't do as I do as I say, right? Yeah. And a lot of people knowingly go against what they're preaching, right?
Well, okay, and hold on, let me clarify. Yeah. I do drop our housekeeper off at the bridge on Friday. However,
she lives over there.
One of my stipulations was that I did want someone who was legally allowed to be here. and but the valley, right? Not the problem. It sounds terrible. But the deal with that is that you pay more. You pay more for someone who has the ability to be over here legally versus someone who comes across. And in the valley, I mean, housekeepers are relatively inexpensive if they're just over here for the day or on a shopping visa.
It's a weird double, right? It's one thing to where somebody can argue like, hey, we're exploiting people that need work, but at the same time, if people weren't there to facilitate, what would they do over there? Like, it's one of those things to where it's providing.
I don't think my housekeeper would be a mule. I'm just
no. Well, it's the
she
argument.
Just doesn't have the personality.
It's the argument of.
I mean, she hardly cleans, but she makes really good food. So I don't know. It's kind of a balance there. This is where Jess would be kicking me underneath the table, and because I can feel her kicking me, let's move on. Let's talk about. Oh, you want to talk about, dude? Lab-grown meat. Did you read this?
I'm down for it.
Hey, vegetarians. That's like how when you walk into a room, can you tell where the vegetarians are? They'll tell you. Lab-grown meat is cleared for sale in the United States. Cultivated meat, also known as lab-grown meat, has been cleared for sale. Upside Food and Good Meat, two companies that will make what they called cultivated chicken, according to CNN, said Wednesday that they have gotten approval from the U.S. Department of Agriculture to start producing cell-based proteins. Good Meat, which is owned by plant-based egg substitute maker Eat Just, said the production is starting immediately. Cultivated or lab-grown meat is grown in a giant vat, much like what you'd find at a beer brewery or the Matrix. That doesn't say the Matrix. Wednesday, the USDA made it past approval for labels for its product from the USDA. No questions letter from the Food and Drug Administration. What do you think? Lab-grown meat. And my question there is that vegetarian friendly? Oh, dude.
Right? That's
that's what I'm saying. Like,
that's a conundrum, right?
yeah. So
If it's lab grown,
if it's lab grown meat, does that mean that a vegetarian can eat it? Because it's meat, but it's not meat. It's lab grown, and they're not lab growing the chickens.
if you're cloned, is it you? Like, it's hard to say because it's still genetically meat, and its genetic source is still was alive at some point. It's regardless if it's been replicated.
Yeah, man.
That's a weird one.
That's a weird one,
right? Are you
we'll
vegan? Are you vegan if you eat lab grown meat?
We'll have to poll the audience. I have to ask my sister-in-law. She's a vegetarian.
Oh,
yeah. I'll ask her. Hey Val, would you eat lab grown meat? Does that make you non-vegetarian? Does it taste like meat? Is it really meat? I mean, is it like?
Well, it's really meat.
I don't know.
It's really meat. It's just it didn't come from something that was alive.
In other fantastic news, two of my favorite people in Washington, the messy feud between two of MAGA world's brightest stars burst into public view on Wednesday when Representative Marjorie Taylor Greene called Representative Lauren Boebert a little bitch to her face on the floor of the U.S. House of Representatives. And it wasn't just like hearsay from one person. Everybody around her saw her call her a little bitch. This is the same lady, might I add, who asked for decorum on the House floor.
Yep.
Decorum, my good lady.
You lie. This
is
the ultimate Karen. She's like,
oh God,
she's like boss level Karen.
I can't even. It's so hard for me to think that these people are like. This is the type of stuff that makes me want to run for public office. Because if they can get there, there's no way I can't get there.
Well, the thing of it is,
I just need a whole lot of funding. So donate now. Feel free to visit. DrewInTheMorning.com.
What are you going to run for, though?
Nothing. I'm just going to run for Drew in the Morning. Give me some money, man.
No, but you got to run for an office. What are you going to run for? Comptroller?
Comptroller. What would I run for, man?
That seems to be
listen, hey, so it's funny. A funny story. So I tried to run. I was living in a neighborhood, North McAllen, North 2nd Street.
Okay.
And I decided that I was going to run for precinct chairman for the Democratic National Convention, like their Democratic chairperson precinct.
Okay.
I was like, this is great. The seat is unfilled. I'm going to go ahead and run. I went and filed all my paperwork unopposed. I was like, this would be great. Well, then all of a sudden, this person decides that they're going to file to run against me. And I was like, oh, okay. Well, it's been unfilled for like 10 years.
Yeah.
I was like, oh, you know what? I know all my neighbors. I know everybody in this neighborhood. And so I thought, I got it in the bag. And I thought it was just going to be, because again, it's precinct chairperson. It's like I would be in charge of giving people yard signs.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like nothing crazy. And showing up and saying, hey, this is what we voted about for those of you that care. I didn't put any water into it, man. I was like, whatever. Dude, this lady beat me like 2,000 to 24. And that was
humbling.
Yeah, dude. I was like, oh. And then I was like, "Oh, you were serious?"
And only what's weird is only 100 people voted.
I was like, I wasn't that serious about it. And so I sent her a message, like trying to be cool, man. I was like, "Hey, congrats! Like, I'm glad to see it. Hope you do it." She didn't respond.
It was rigged.
I was like, whatever.
I want to recount.
Dude, it was like, I don't. You know what? I wonder if I can bring up the result. It was like 2,000 to 24.
Fake news.
Oh, dude, it was so bad. I got pummeled.
You won in a landslide. Don't concede. Come on.
I forgot what precinct it was.
What do you call it? File
Anyway, she slammed me.
File a recount, man. I don't care if it was in like
2012. It was precinct 73.
Okay.
And it was open forever. And then she ran against me, and she won.
Well, the fact that you forgot the precinct, that you lost my vote.
I moved. So, and now I've moved.
But you lost my vote.
Yeah. That's true.
Sorry.
I moved, man. I moved to a different precinct, 3 years ago or whatever. I can't find the vote. But, yeah, she beat me pretty bad, dude.
Oh, so you pulled an Oz. You're trying to run for another precinct. Mm-hmm.
Yeah, that's what I did. No. You know what? I hate that shit, man. You know what I hate? I hate politicians in the Valley that start with one party and flip to another. I hate, not even in the Valley. I hate politicians that do that. It's that
conveniently flip from one to the other.
I hate that, man.
Especially when they get voted in under a ticket.
I hate that.
And then they switch to another ticket.
How are they allowed to do that? I don't understand that, man. Anyway, well, she beat me, and that was that. And that was my brush with running. So, will I ever run for anything? Probably not.
No, I don't.
I
don't run for breakfast. I don't run for anything.
This
is Texas. It's too hot to run.
No, man. I just don't have any desire. Like, I don't know. I see how corrupt and how messed up everything is.
But I think it's been in the past decade that we've seen politics being brought down to just being one of those things that
hold on. But here's the problem. The problem is you get people like me who want to make a difference, who say, you know what? I know about it. I want to do it. I think I'd be great at it. And then you look at the machine and you look at how screwed up it is, and you decide, not now. And I think we're in a position right now as a nation where all of the good politicians are doing exactly what I'm doing. Not that I'd be a good politician, for what it's worth.
What's funny is like every election cycle. I mean, I used to do a lot of political ads, and then if I think down the list of political ads that I've done I can think of 7 right now that are in jail or on charges of corruption. Or
you mean like the great president of the United States?
I mean, just in local politics. I mean, half the politicians that I've done commercials for are voted or run out of office or in jail or something. FBI, open up! Yeah, exactly that. FBI, open up!
Oh my God. Well, anyway, all right, man. It is the top of the hour. It's 10 o'clock. That was fun and exciting. There were a couple things I wanted to talk about that we didn't get to talk about today, but I'm curious to talk about later on. I had some incredible conversations with some friends of mine about knowing your worth and knowing what you're worth. I was like, there's a little alarm going off in the background.
It's not mine, is it?
No, it's the machine over there. Anyway, a couple things I want to chit chat about, but we could talk about those later. Knowing your worth is a big conversation that I'll dig into next week. But for right now, that's it. It's 10 o'clock. Thanks for listening to me and Eli here on
Drew in the Morning.
And we will see you next week. Same bat time, same bat channel.